Do you have like a theme or like I guess like a central thesis that you tend to follow on your stories? Is there something that pulls them all together?
That's a good question. Feels like there should be.
Well, every one of your stories is probably the most simple problem that you could imagine, but it always like kind of comes back to just like human nature, like we overlook it, we don't ever think about it, and so I thought that was really interesting. Is like you seem to deal in like these very like simple problems that we face as humans, and I thought that's kind of like what a lot of your stories came down to, was like it was the simple solution that we were never seeing. Like the one where the guy in the nuclear blast, like all he wants is to be with his wife, and he lost her, and so he kind of does, it's like that simple. He just gets to his wife, and it's the human nature of love and love lost, that he's really chasing there. So I don't know, is that something you focus on, is like trying to write about just like basic human emotions?
Um, I mean, I think any kind of writing that you do or anything creative you do is going to touch on like, yeah, human emotions. I mean, I think your observation is kind of interesting because I do think, yeah, and this is probably a subconscious effort if it comes across, but I do think that with so many kind of like problems or conflicts in the world and that people have, usually the solution is pretty simple. Usually the solution isn't really that difficult, and the things that kind of get in our way, or between us and the thing that will, make life better, is usually kind of a simple thing, but we tend to overcomplicate everything.
Yeah.
And, it's and I think there's a lot that goes into that, but I mean, I think that kind of the older you get, the more these kind of like artificial barriers kind of present themselves, and um, you kind of lose sight of like kind of when you really boil everything down to its essentials, like how simple things really should be, you know,
Yeah.
and so. And I mean that is something that I think I just kind of struggle with in my you know my normal life, or like my job, and or
Hmm.
just like the world in general. You just think like, God, this like should not be this hard. uh,
Yeah.
uh, and again, it's like these things that are sometimes out of your control, or sometimes they're just kind of these like um, these illusions that
Hmm.
um, keep you from realizing like, oh well, actually, like the answer to this is simple, like. And yeah.